So, lads, tonight is so important for the Indiana Fever. Like, I don't think most people understand how important today's game is for the Fever. Like, the Indiana Fever are 3 games above 500. They are 1 game back off the 5th seed. And obviously, the Storm and the Atlanta Dream are the 2 teams ahead of them. The Storm in their next game are facing. Who are they facing in their next game? They're facing. Who are they playing tonight? They're playing the Sparks. And the Sparks, like, I think this is probably going to be a really, really close game. I think when it comes to the Storm and the Sparks, I think the Sparks could win. I think the Storm could win. I would say it's likely that the Storm or the Sparks win. I know the Aces beat the Sparks in their last game, but like the Aces really want to beat the Sparks. Like, they are grudge matches, and I think that those games there are like, they're a little bit different than normal regular season games. Like, a lot of the time when it comes to a grudge match, form isn't really taken into account. And I think all around, the Storm are in a literal, like, not great position either. But then you've got the Dream as well. And in their next game, they face. So they lost to the Valkyries. They just about beat the Wings. And then they face the Mercury, who are going to want to bounce back because the Mercury have lost 3 of their last 4. So if the Mercury can go and beat the Dream. And by the way, if the Mercury don't beat the Dream, it doesn't really matter because they're playing each other. Worst case scenario, the Dream beat the Mercury and we're a game off. And we're a half game off the Mercury. Like, there is a chance that the Indiana Fever, like at 16 and 12, they get into the 5th seed tonight. Like, if the Mercury lose to the Dream, or heck, we could get to the 4th seed tonight. If the Mercury beat the Dream and the Storm, I don't know how the tiebreak works. Either way, we can basically be level with the 5th or 4th seed. And if the Dream beat the Mercury, heck, we might be fighting for that 3rd seed. We might be fighting for the 3rd seed. And the Aces are right behind us. So if we lose tonight, we could get into that 7th seed. And what you don't want to do, I have my weird bold prediction is that one of these 3 teams is going to fall to 7. One of Mercury, Storm, or Dream are going to fall to 7. I think the Aces and the Fever, I think 2 of those teams are going to be above 7. I think 2 of those are going to end up in the top 6. So it could be like the Dream dropping out. I think the Valks, man, the Valks is it's a new player every game. The Valks go from Kate Martin getting DNPs to scoring 9 points in a huge win. Like, everything. Like, the Valks are just a really, really weird team all around. Like, they're liable to do anything in any game. And I have to say, like, I do like the Golden State Valkyries as a team. I like the fact that they can, like, actually, like, they can run with anybody. And yeah, they're a tough team. Like, every time I'm thinking, okay, let's count the Valkyries out. Oh, they're 2 games below 500 and they're on a bit of a slump. Like, all of a sudden, let's go and win 2 in a row. And they're not easy games either. Like, those 2 in a row were against the Dream and a Wings team who actually played really freaking well. So it wasn't the Wings, Jesus. It was, who was it yesterday at the beat? The Mystics, sorry. The Mystics. Jeez, what am I talking about? Not the Wings. The Mystics, who were playing pretty well. And, like, the Mystics are now out of the playoffs. Like, anything can happen. Because of the records are going to be different getting into the playoffs just purely because of how good, or how, well, not how good, jeez, how bad the Connecticut Sun and the Dallas Wings and, like, a lot of these teams, just because of how bad these teams are, they, like, it's going to be, a lot of teams are going to have higher records than expected. And also the top teams, other than the Lynx, like last year, there was 2 teams with 30. I think a below 500 team is going to make the playoffs. But it's not going to be last year where 15 and 25 made the playoffs. It's not going to be like that. 15 and 25 is not going to make the playoffs. Like, you're going to need 22 wins to make... No, sorry, 22 is 500. You're going to need 20 wins to make the playoffs. Because there is 13 games left, and if you're the Valkyries, you have 14 games left, and you're at 500. So the Valkyries win 7. let's say if most of these teams, like if you look at the league, outside of the two worst teams in the Sky, the Sun, heck, outside of the best team in the Lynx and the three worst teams, every other team is either 5-5 or 4-6 or 6-4. Like that is literally just how good, how evenly balanced the league is. Any of these teams can beat anyone. Like you would absolutely hope that the Indiana Fever are going to beat the Sun, and you hope they're going to beat the Sky, and you hope they're going to beat the Wings, and you hope they beat the Wings tonight. But what you can't afford to do is, because everyone's beating everybody, you need to win the games you're meant to win, which is why this game is so important. Like one win, like a 3-game win streak has just put the Fever from like a really weird position where they were like, I think they were 500, but they were like the 6 or 7 seed. And it's not 7 seed, but they were like the 8th seed and like pushing 9th seed. Like the Fever have always kind of been in that playoff hunt. And like we've seen it from the Valkyries. 2 wins, it looked like they were like almost, where is the standings? It looked like the Valkyries were almost out. Like they were on track to being out of it. And now suddenly the Valkyries are starting to win games. So for me, anyway, that's just the way that I'm looking at this whole thing. Because I'm like, the Indiana Fever absolutely are in control of their destiny. But like, when we were looking at their fixture list, I know they've beaten the Mercury. We were like, Jesus, something could go wrong with the Fever, where they could be out of the playoff hunt by the time Caitlin Clark comes back. I said they needed to win. I think I gave them like they needed to win 4 games by the time Caitlin's back, and they're going to make a run for it. And they've already won 3 out of 4. Like, I thought they were going to lose the Ace. I thought they were going to lose to the Mercury. And let's be real, most of us thought the same. But now, the problem with the Fever is when there's no expectations on them, a lot of the time they overperform. But when there's expectations on them, like against the Sparks twice, and like against the Sun, and like against Dallas the first time when they went up 30 and nearly fucked it. Like, when there's expectations on this team, they absolutely shrink. Or when they're just expected to win. But what they're very good at doing is outworking teams. The only positive thing about this is that the Dallas Wings employ Dejanay Carrington. They want to beat Paige Bueckers. Maybe not as much as people wanted to beat Caitlin Clark last year, but they want to beat Paige Bueckers, and the Dallas Wings employ Dejanay Carrington. Like, it's as simple as that. The Dallas Wings employing Dejanay Carrington should be enough that like they're gonna want to win. They're gonna really, really want to win this game. Wait, Paige is leading the Wings in Guys, Soder just hasn't played enough games, has she? She hasn't played enough games. I was about to say, I was like, there is no way that Paige is leading the team in rebounds over Geisel-Suter. But yeah. Like, this is a game that, look, they've got to win. The Fever have to win this game. If the Fever don't win this game, I just don't know how they're going to be this season. I just don't know. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. Look, at the end of the day, for the grand scheme of things, I think they're going to be fine because they've proven that they can win one-off games, and they've proven they can win tough games. They're proven they can grind out games. But like, these are the games you've just got to win. Like, they have to win at least for me. The Fever, go sweep the Sky. Go sweep the Sky. You need to beat them twice more. Go sweep them. Go 4-1 against them. 4-1 or a sweep. I said it at the start of the year. My prediction was 3-2 Fever. If it's 4-1 Fever, I would not be surprised. And I thought the chance of the Sky win the series was the same chance as the Fever sweeping. Fever, go sweep the Sky. Go get one back on the Connecticut Sun. You're 2-1 against the Sun. Go clean out the series. Go 3-1 against the Sun. At least win one of the Sparks games and get it back to losing that series 3-1. You play the Mystics twice more. You got to get one against the Mystics. And that's the way you got to look at it for the Fever. Like, you're playing the Wings. I think it's the last time you played the Wings. So you got to get that win. Like, if you look at the Fever schedule, to get in, for me, because of the way I think the playoffs going to be really tight between, I think maybe New York get dragged back into it with Stewie's injury, but it might be extremely tight between like 2 and 8. There's only 4 games between 2 and 8. So there's a chance that winning 25 games, going 25-19, is going to get you into a really like good position. 25-19 could get you the third seed, and that could be very favorable. So what the Fever have to do is they have to win this game. So they've got to win 10 more games for the rest of the year. You play the Aces once more, give or take. It could happen either way. When the Aces are up for the game, they can beat anyone. When they're not up for the game, they can lose to anyone. And they are only up for the game against Caitlin Clark when the Fever's there. So ironically, if Caitlin's not there, Fever probably have a better chance against them. The Fever play the Storm 2 more times, I think. If they can get one of them, if they can get one more win against the Mercury this season, they're done against the Liberty. They play the Lynx 3 times. If they get one of those 3. So right now, if you're looking, if they get one of these, one more. That's 3. That's 3 wins the rest of the year. And they play the Valks again, I think, once. And they play the Valks again. They got to get their one back on the Valks. And that's 4. They win one against the Mystics, that's 5. And all you basically have to do from then on is hold serve against the Sky, the Wings, the Sun, and win one of the games against the Sparks. All you have to do is that. Win the games you're meant to win, and it means you can literally go under 500 against the actual good teams the rest of the year and potentially be the third seed. So it's really important because for every loss the Indiana Fever have against a bad team like Dallas, and I don't consider the Sparks a bad team. I consider they were a bad team when the Fever played them. I don't consider them a bad team. So they're not that bad losses. The first one, yes. Second one, no. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the Fever, you are absolutely, for every game you lose like this one, you've got to win against one of these upper teams. That's the way it has to be looked at. The Fever can afford to lose games against better teams as long as they keep winning the ones they're meant to win. And the problem is this season is the Fever have 2 losses versus the Sparks, a loss versus the Sun, a loss versus the Mystics, 2 losses versus the Valks, a loss versus the Aces. So they've lost to a lot of weak teams. Well, not weak teams. Like, I'm not considering the Valks, Aces, or Mystics a weak team. They've lost to a lot of teams that you're hoping that they would beat. So yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.